Good evening. Welcome back to Checking the Executive. I'm your host, Justin Bliss, and on this show we document as much of the Trump administration as possible for posterity and accuracy. I apologize for the unforeseen hiatus over the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, my show must have been report bombed on YouTube and my channel was taken down. I had to appeal to get it back because there's nothing insensitive or spam on this channel. Just the truth and nothing but. A couple of episodes were removed permanently after the appeal was approved. I took some time to hopefully dial in more of a format for the show, and I am looking into other hosting and storage sites for all of the episodes. From here on out, I am going to cover the big three overarching categories of the government in sections: foreign policy, economic policy, domestic policy. If there happens to be something that does not fit into those three, we will cover it afterwards in a miscellaneous section. For tonight's foreign policy updates, we'll first be covering Trump's ongoing obsession with Greenland. Vice President J.D. Vance had a visit to the nation in which he remarked that he had no idea it was that cold, that nobody had told him. Trump has stated that America will have Greenland by any means necessary, and he has not ruled out the threat of an invasion. This has sparked the government of Greenland to form a coalition four-party government, which is essentially a war cabinet. For people that say or have said in the past, don't take Trump at his word, or made excuses for things that have come out of his mouth, other countries do take him at his word and are taking it seriously. President Trump has the largest military force ever known at his disposal, and these threats that the executive is making against Denmark and Greenland are real. They are preparing for escalation and potentially invasion. And it would be one of the stupidest things that the president has ever done. The president has fallen for a millennia-old joke. Greenland is not green, nor is it as big as it seems on the map. This obsession that the president has for Greenland's natural resources very well might end in a catastrophic invasion attempt, because, as J.D. Vance puts it, it's cold. Across the pond, the ongoing war between the Ukraine and Russia rages on, and according to German intelligence, Russia is preparing for war with NATO. And, due to the absolute mightiest of coincidences, President Trump has been weakening our allies within NATO and floated outwardly that we should lead it. Putin is not wavering in his war, and has vowed to finish off the Ukraine, although cracks are definitely showing in the Red Army's armor. There are reports coming out of Russia that their tank supply is almost finished, and further into the year they may not have the capability for reactivating or creating new armor units. I'm not sure how often this gets shown in the American news media, but here's a casualty list for Putin's war since its onset in 2022. 912,490 personnel, 10,478 tanks, 25,451 artillery systems, 1,345 multiple launch rocket systems, 370 aircraft, 1,122 anti-aircraft units, 335 helicopters, 31,234 drones and unmanned aircraft, 3,121 cruise missiles, 42,398 vehicles and fuel tanks, and 1 submarine. The cost of imperialism has always been too high, and it's too high now. The United States should and could intervene on the side of the Ukraine and our allies in NATO, but we won't, because we have a president that is almost assuredly compromised by Russia. There is no other reason for the United States to choose the side of the invader and our long-term enemy. Also, for foreign policy, the administration executed an operation in Yemen which was planned on Signal, what is essentially the government equivalent of sending it over public Wi-Fi. I'm sure you've heard about it, and other outlets are covering it ad nauseum, so I won't go into it here. In economics news, Tesla's stock continues to fall, along with the company's storied fall from grace. Elon Musk was seen begging investors and employees not to pull their money out, and seen on Fox News calling the Tesla protesters the real villains. Here's Musk sieg-heiling at the president's inauguration 2 months ago. As it turns out, being a Nazi is still bad for business. Musk is also in hot water with Twitter's shareholders, who have filed a lawsuit alleging Musk of securities fraud. Elon Musk still has complete access to the federal treasury's accounts and payment systems. Elon Musk is planning to completely rewrite the system from COBOL to Java, which will undoubtedly be a calamity and a perfect cover for his theft. It is unknown if the United States Department of Government Efficiency senior staffer, Big Balls, will be in charge of the conversion. Nothing in this section was hyperbole. Welcome to current affairs in American politics. President Trump continues his trade war against seemingly the world. The price of eggs is still over triple what it was 1 year ago. Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced that Canada will be ending deep economic, security, and military ties with the United States. So much for border safety. In domestic news, the Trump administration has an official Gestapo. This video, taken on March 25th, 2025, shows Rumeysa Öztürk, a Turkish PhD student at Tufts University in Massachusetts, being arrested and removed from the street in a clear violation of the writ of habeas corpus. If you don't know what the writ of habeas corpus is, it's the law older than the Magna Carta from 1215 AD that says the king cannot put you in prison and hold you without cause. These are illegal acts, and yet they are being carried out. A judge has thankfully halted her deportation. But the fact of the matter is that the United States ICE agency and potentially the FBI are being used to take people who have not committed a crime, and they don't care if they do it in broad daylight. The Trump administration has made a deal with the country of El Salvador to use their prison system as a holding cell for these illegal deportations, and they are doing it happily. Please see this image tweeted from the White House. These are cruel actions made by even crueler people. They claim that they're Christian, but every Christian that I know would believe this to be evil. Ms. Öztürk was not the first innocent woman to be picked up, and she won't be the last. I heard stories about the KGB growing up all over the place, and not one of them had good things to say about a secret police force. And now we have so-called patriots overjoyed at Trump's personal KGB, even though he changed the letters. They aren't even remotely thinking about giving these people a fair trial. Brian Kilmeade, a Fox News tabloid personality, was quoted as saying, "It's not practical to think we can do due process on 8 million people." The border czar, Tom Homan, said, "We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming." Meanwhile, United States Attorney General Pam Bondi stated publicly on Fox News that they will be coming after anyone who protests at a Tesla dealership. You remember a few weeks ago when I talked about the concept of doublespeak? Here, the federal government has launched a website named DEIWatchlist.com. The website states the DEI watch list is focused on exposing the unelected career staff driving radical diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives within the federal government. And then it lists a dossier of people with their faces and department. Some of their titles are Deputy Associate Director of Science, Office of Health Equity, and Director, Office of Climate Change and Health Equity. And at the bottom of the page, the website is a project of the American Accountability Foundation. President Trump stated at a press conference 2 weeks ago, next to an ad for MyPillow, that CNN and MSNBC are illegal and political arms of the Democrats. The administration wants to control the truth. Trump and the executive want to control what you see, what you hear, and what you think. They are attempting to change what is considered truth and lie, and they will use any means necessary to do it. We as a people have to stay strong. America is entering a period of hard times. Do not let the truth change. Do not let this rhetoric go unchallenged. I truly believe, still truly believe, that we are a nation of good-hearted people at our core. That good people outnumber evil, and that most of my fellow citizens still have a conscience. An informed populace is the enemy of a fascist state. You can't deny your own eyes and ears. Spread the word of this administration's actions as much as you can. If there are people in your life that still support this man in government, show them what they're doing. Show them what the executive is doing. Make them justify it, not just to you, but to themselves. And as always, stay vigilant, stay hopeful, don't lose heart. Good night. God bless. Thank you.